हरिओम। तो आज हम इसी श्रृंखला में दूसरा अध्याय भी जानेंगे, जिसमें मैं अपने विचार प्रस्तुत करूंगा महाभारत और मस्तिष्क विज्ञान न्यूरोसाइंस के विषय में। So today's talk is the second part of the series, in which I'm going to talk about Arjuna's crisis, anxiety, the brain, and neuroplasticity. That's the agenda. So in the previous lecture, we explored how various characters of the Mahabharata can be understood through the lens of modern neuroscience. Today, we will focus entirely on one individual, Arjuna. Why Arjuna? Because Arjuna's crisis is not unique to him. It is a deeply human experience. Fear, uncertainty, grief, moral conflict, decision paralysis. Every one of us has experienced our own Kurukshetra. We all go through these uncertainties, fear, grief, moral conflict, and decision paralysis. So Arjuna is a very important character. So today we'll focus entirely on him. Adya अस्माकं महाभारत मस्तिष्क विज्ञान व्याख्यान मालायाः द्वितीयः भागः। पूर्व व्याख्याने वयं महाभारतस्य प्रमुखपात्राणां माध्यमेन मानव मस्तिष्कस्य परिचयं प्राप्तवन्तः। अद्य तु वयं केवलम् अर्जुनस्य विषादम् अध्ययनं करिष्यामः। कुतः? यतः अर्जुनस्य समस्या केवलं तस्य नासीत्। सा समस्या प्रत्येकस्य मानवस्य समस्या अस्ति। भयम्, अनिश्चितता, शोकः, नैतिक संकटकम्, निर्णय ग्रहणे असमर्थता। अतः अर्जुनः केवलं महाभारतस्य पात्र नास्ति। सः केवलं महाभारतस्य पात्रं नास्ति, सः अस्माकं सर्वेषां प्रतिनिधिः अस्ति। He represents all of us. So, what's the scene at Kurukshetra? What's going on in Kurukshetra? Kurukshetre युद्धारंभात् पूर्वम् अर्जुनः श्रीकृष्णं वदति। किं वदति? दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितं सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति वेपथुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते। He also says, Gandivam samsrute hasta tyakcheva paridahyate. That's his state. That's the state of mind of Arjuna. He says, "Oh Krishna, seeing my own relatives assembled here for battle, my limbs become weak. My mouth becomes dry, my body trembles, my hair stands on the end, my Gandiva bow slips from my hand, and my skin burns. My skin burns." This is what he says. He says, Drushtve swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupasthitam Sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishusyati. My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth is drying up. It's drying up. That's a signal of suggestion of fear. That suggests fear. Furthermore, then he says, Vepathuscha sharire me Vepathuscha sharire me romaharsascha jayate Gandivam samsute hasta tvakchaiva paridahyate. वेपतुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते गांडीवं संसृते हस्तात् त्वक्चैव परिदह्यते. My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow, Gandiva, is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning. And then he says, I'm now unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. Na cha shaknomyavasthatum भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव. This is how he says. This is how he says. This is the expression of his feeling at that stage. So notice something important here. Notice something important. Arjuna is not coward. He is perhaps the greatest warrior present on the battlefield. He has fought countless battles, yet suddenly he cannot function. Why? Because the problem is not in his muscles. The problem is in his mind, and therefore in his brain. Arjuna कातरः नासीत् स महान् योद्धा आसीत् अनेक युद्धेषु विजयी अभवत् तथापि अस्मिन् क्षणे सः कंपते. किमर्थम्? समस्या शरीरे नास्ति, समस्या चित्ते अस्ति. समस्या चित्ते अस्ति. Imagine you are walking in a forest. Suddenly you hear a loud sound. Before you consciously think, your brain begins preparing for danger. One important structure involved in this process is called the amygdala. For a layperson, think of the amygdala as the brain's alarm system. Its job is, could this be dangerous? Amygdala's job is, could this be dangerous? अस्माकं मस्तिष्के एक सुरक्षा अलार्मः इव तन्त्रभागः अस्ति. आधुनिक विज्ञानं तम अमिग्डला इति नाम्ना जानाति. तस्य कार्यम् अत्र किञ्चित् भयङ्करः अस्ति वा? So, the amygdala is a collection of nuclei located within the medial temporal lobe in the brain. It participates in threat detection, fear conditioning, emotional salience, autonomic activation. It participates in threat detection, fear conditioning, emotional salience, autonomic activation. It communicates extensively with hippocampus, hypothalamus, prefrontal cortex. So Arjuna's symptoms closely resemble acute activation of these networks. Why does the mouth become dry? Why does his mouth become dry? Arjuna vadati mukham cha parishusyati. Mama mukham shusyati. Etat kevalam kavyam nasti. Esha sharir kriya asti. So, this is remarkable. The Mahabharata is describing a real physiological response. It's a real physiological response. When the brain perceives danger, the sympathetic nervous systems becomes activated, blood flow is redirected, saliva production decreases, the mouth becomes dry, exactly as Arjuna describes. Why does he tremble? Ve pathusach sharire me mama shariram kampate. Stress hormones are released. Adrenaline enters the bloodstream. Heart rate increases. Muscles prepare for action. Trembling occurs. Again, the description is physiologically accurate. So, what is Arjuna's real problem? The real problem is not fear. The fear is normal. The real problem is conflict. Arjun faces two competing truths. If he fights, he harms loved ones. If he does not fight, he abandons his duty. Modern psychology calls this cognitive conflict or moral injury. अर्जुनस्य मुख्य समस्या भयं नास्ति, मुख्य समस्या धर्म संकटमस्ति। एकस्मिन् पक्षे स्वजनाः, अन्यस्मिन् पक्षे धर्मः। एकस्मिन् पक्षे स्वजनाः, अन्यस्मिन् पक्षे धर्मः। So here comes the Krishna, the teacher of the mind, the neuroscientist. ततः श्रीकृष्णः अर्जुनस्य मनः परिवर्तयितुम् आरभते. He starts, Lord Krishna comes and he says, you grieve for those who should not be grieved for, yet speak words of wisdom. This is what he says. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Ashocanavan Vashocastvam Pragyavadanscha Bhasase Gadasuna Gadasunscha Nanu Sochanti Panditaha. He says, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So he takes the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool. Krishna says, you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one who knows what is body and what is soul, does not lament for any stage of the body, neither the living nor the dead condition. This is what he says. This is what he says. Krishna does not first change the battlefield. He changes the Arjuna's perspective. And this is profoundly important. The cognitive reframing. Modern psychology calls this cognitive reframing. The situation remains the same. The interpretation changes. When interpretation changes, emotion changes. When emotion changes, behavior changes. Paristhiti na parivartate. Dushtikonah parivartate. Dushtikona parivartanat bhavanah parivartante. Now we arrive at one of the most important ideas in neuroscience, which is the neuroplasticity. Simply stated, the brain changes according to repeated experience, even thought, even habit, even skill changes neural pathways. Neuroplasticity iti kim mastiskasya parivartana kshamata. Yat yat punah punah abhyasyate tat tat mastiske drudhtaram bhavati. Yat yat punah punah abhyasyate tat tat mastiske drudhtaram bhavati. Yato yato nirascharati manaschanchalamastheram tatastato niya medat manyeva vasham nayet. Yada yada manaha anyatra gachati tada tada punah punah pratyahartavyam. Whenever the mind wanders, bring it back again, again, again. This sounds simple, yet this is the fundamental instruction of attention training. And I talk about Sandhya, in which when we are meditating on Gayatri Mantra, mind tends to run away from the focus of attention, and we constantly keep practicing to bring the mind back to what we want it to focus on. So that's an exercise which I believe, that's my hypothesis, improves the attentional pathways, helps improve focused attention, helps emotional regulation, improves the brain connectivity. So modern neuroscience has demonstrated that attentional training and meditation can influence the attention networks, emotional regulation, stress responses, functional brain connectivity. Repeated mental practice can alter the brain. This is neuroplasticity. Yada sharirasya vyayamah shariram parivartayati tathaiva dhyanabhyasaha mastiskam parivartayati. The Kurukshetra is inside us, actually. Most of us will never stand on a battlefield, but every one of us will experience grief, fear, uncertainty, difficult decisions. We all go through this. We all go. So we all go through times in our lives when we are surrounded by grief, fear, uncertainty, difficult decisions. So we all have our own inner Kurukshetra. So the question is not, will we face challenges? The question is, how shall we train the mind before those challenges arrive? That's the thing. Kurukshetram kevalam bharatasya bhumau nasti. Kurukshetram asmakam antahkarane api asti. Asmakam antahkarane api asti. Arjuna asmakam bhayam. Krishna asmakam vivekah. Mahabharatam kevalam yuddha katha nasti. Eshah मानव मस्तिष्कस्य महाग्रन्थः अस्ति. अर्जुनस्य विषादः मानव चित्तस्य विषादः, कृष्णस्य उपदेशः मानव मुक्तेः मार्गः. The Mahabharata is not merely the story of an ancient war, it is a study of the human mind. Arjuna's crisis is our crisis. Arjuna's crisis is our crisis. Krishna's teaching is a guide to understand attention, emotion, resilience, and transformation. 5,000 years later, neuroscience is still exploring many of the same questions, and perhaps that is why the Mahabharata continues to remain so relevant even today. Even today. In our next episode, we'll go even deeper and explore Krishna as a master of cognitive reframing, metacognition, and the neuroscience of wisdom. Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya.